What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Bulls Latest. Your host, Matt Johnson here. I wanted to kick off today's show by talking a little bit about the Kobe White Family Foundation and what Kobe White had going on this past weekend in the south side of Chicago. He wrapped up his Unity Classic on the south side this past weekend. The Pro-Am allowed a handful of talented local hoopers to face off at Kennedy King College and receive some real NBA level guidance. Not only did White serve as the head coach of one team, but hometown hero Ayo Dosunmu served as the coach of the other squad there. Kobe White ended up walking away with the win over his current teammate. Just this past week alone, we have seen Ayo Dosunmu hold his block party, Modest Buzelis meet with fans in Hinsdale, and Kobe White finish up his Unity Classic there. Patrick Williams was also spotted at a couple of these events. I think it's awesome that you're seeing these players get involved in the community. And while there are like hot topics when it comes to what their futures are going to be with this Bulls organization, they certainly have made their mark on the community in Chicago. That would be another reason why it would be hard to see either one of Ayo or Kobe leave the city of Chicago and start somewhere else. They've been such an impact in the community, and it's really cool to see the culture that they've built amongst each other. These Chicago Bulls players and young ones at that. So they're getting involved, and that's awesome to see. I just wanted to kick off today's show by kind of diving into the Unity Classic that Kobe White held this past weekend, kind of switching gears more so to a question I've continued to ask you guys in terms of Bulls fans and what you guys feel, and that's, do you believe in Billy Donovan? Now, we know he's gotten signed to that long-term extension recently. Locking him up long-term is a, in my opinion, is one of the front office's best moves yet. He coaches with an ego-free style. He's flexible and respectable. He's an authoritative figure. I genuinely believe he has a hunger to win. He possesses some strong developmental skills as well. And that's what I've kind of highlighted many times, is that when you bring in a young roster and you're pushing this organization to relevance or trying to build the right way, you got to do it with young talent. And I think given his success as an elite NCAA head coach at an elite program in the Florida Gators, I think he's proven that he can develop and coach up young talent into NBA level material. So I just think when you look at this, there's two sides of the coin here. Obviously, the lack of success in the postseason, this Bulls team and this organization over the years as a franchise, it's a very proud franchise, has high expectations. And I just think when you're not meeting the postseason success, that's another level to the frustration with Billy Donovan. But I just think the Bulls could do a lot worse at head coach, especially as they try to build a more stable and competitive culture. When you look at the other hand of this, I know a lot of Bulls fans will say the proof is in the pudding, kind of. They're supposed to be a playoff team year after year. They've failed to reach that goal. 3 consecutive play-in tournament exits paint a pretty bad picture when it comes to where this team's been as of recent. Even if it was, if we believe this is primarily a roster construction problem, everybody deserves a piece of the blame here, including Billy Donovan to a point. So there's two sides of the coin. I know a lot of Bulls fans would kind of bring to the front of a conversation like this. But let me know, do you guys believe in Billy Donovan? Do you express any frustration with him still, or are you optimistic in what he's going to bring to the table moving forward with this young group? I certainly am. I think with the addition of Noah Sangay in the draft and then Modest Buzelis entering the sophomore season here with a lot of promise, I think there's some young talent, and it looks like up to this point, and I've talked about this over the last week or so, but it looks like Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Nikola Vucevic, all three of them are going to be back and at least start the next season with the Chicago Bulls, so they're going to have a good shot to win some ball games early on. I just think the frustration lies, like I said, with the Bulls, inability to choose a direction and their unwillingness to make drastic changes as an organization. They've repeatedly refused to do so, both with their roster, coaching staff, and front office, obviously locking up the entire front office and Billy Donovan all within the past couple of months. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I want to hear what Bulls fans think of Billy Donovan overall. I want to gauge, what the interest is in having him around moving forward. So, Kind of switching gears to another community event that we have coming up for the Chicago Bulls. This was in the news. I thought I'd hit upon this quickly. The Bulls Fest in 2025 is scheduled at the United Center for August 23rd and 24th. This is going to be free and open to the public. The Bulls Fest is the city's ultimate basketball experience. It's kind of cool that they have this set up. It has something for everyone to enjoy. You got 6 events in total. Some of the stuff here, you got Rule of Courts, a 3-on-3 basketball tournament across 8 divisions and 51 courts. So that's kind of a fun thing there. You're going to have former and current Chicago Bulls at this event. You get to shake hands, take pictures, all that kind of stuff with these guys. Some players that are going to be there. You got Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright, Eddie Curry, Kendall Gill, and Will Perdue. These are some all-time Bulls legends here, so it's going to be fun to have them in the cut here at the United Center. And then you will also have a slam dunk contest and a 3-point competition. That'll be a lot of fun too. I just think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for some cool community involvement there at Bulls Fest, again, August 23rd and 24th, right here at the United Center on the west side of Chicago. So that came up in the news. It was announced the other day, so I just wanted to put that out there for Bulls fans. Those of you who are in Chicago, would be a very exciting event to kind of take part in and meet some Bulls greats there. So kind of wrapping up today's show, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on around the league. We had a big signing yesterday. The San Antonio Spurs have agreed to a 4-year, $229 million max extension with De'Aaron Fox. This comes as no surprise to me. I did see in recent days a lot of hypothetical trade talks, put together in terms of some deals that could go down for De'Aaron Fox and 3-team trades. You always have speculation for these big names to move, but the Spurs get their guy locked up for a max extension there. The max deal has no player option in the final year. Fox's agent was excited and highlighted the positivity over no state income tax being in Texas as opposed to California there. So De'Aaron Fox is going to be a fixture with this Spurs team for years to come. When you look at them overall, it's an exciting group and a team I think has a chance to make a ton of noise in the Western Conference. Obviously, drafting Dylan Harper here, he's the guy who brings a ton of excitement. Was one of the guys outside of Cooper Flagg that was probably the most highly touted guy in this year's draft class. You have Stephen Castle coming off that immensely successful year. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox, and then the all-world Victor Wembanyama. So that's going to be a group that I think in the Western Conference is going to make a lot of noise. So just wanted to hit upon that to end today's show. 4 years, $229 million. It kind of poses a question when you look at this Bulls team and how it kind of spins off of that, is that the Bulls are going to have a ton of money, and that's the one positive I talked about yesterday, that when you look at where the Bulls sit and kind of that category with the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans, and kind of an area where you feel like they're building towards nothing, but you've got to keep in mind that the summer of 2026 is going to provide an opportunity for this Bulls organization to spend, and they're going to finally have the assets available to kind of prioritize some of the needs that they want to accumulate throughout this roster. So, you're going to have some big decisions too. I know I talked about the community event with Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu being together. They definitely have a tight-knit relationship, but both those guys have expiring contracts coming up next summer. So the Bulls are going to have some decisions to make there, and it kind of shows that if you are really committed to a player, and De'Aaron Fox is a great example of this. The Spurs just making the move for him this past season, but locking them up and making them a part of your future. The Bulls have been in a weird spot for so long now, where it continually feels like they struggle to pick a direction and move one way or the other. And they're kind of in that standstill with some of these contract talks, and they've kind of done that to themselves. I just think it's so Bulls, though, to go and extend the front office and then give Billy Donovan an extension as well, in terms of, with the the hanging questions coming up with this organization moving forward. So we'll have to see how things shake out moving into this next season. Like I said, I anticipate at this point in the offseason, with the trade talks kind of significantly slowing, this Bulls group to fully return in terms of the starters that they have. I think Vooch, Io, and Kobe will all stick around. I think they're going to have an opportunity to win some ball games. I think you're going to see that over-under kind of push up towards maybe 34, 35 games as the season draws closer here. It currently, like I talked about a few weeks ago, sits at 32.5. I think when you bring this group back as a full, they're going to have an opportunity to win well more than 32 games. So we'll see what happens. But, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to see in the show or anything that you want to talk about, let me know. How do you feel about Billy Donovan? I know he's a kind of a sore spot for some Bulls fans there. Not a big fan in terms of what the Bulls have done with him. I know a lot of Bulls fans sit in that category, but me personally, I like to see what he provides and what he's going to bring to this Bulls team moving forward. I think his ability to kind of bring along the young players in this organization speaks volumes. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for joining me again on today's episode of Bulls Late. It's a lighter show all around in terms of Bulls news, but we'll continue to look at and drive through the off season with a lot of awesome news going on with this Bulls organization. So thanks again for joining me in today's episode of Bulls Latest, and we will see you guys next time.